All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Card Talk. I'm Ryan, joined as always by Tyler and Lou. We have a full team today. We are back to 3 people. Really had one episode at the National with all 3 of us. We had a few 2 and 2, a couple guest appearances. So a lot of fun there. But we are back to a full team of 3. So excited to get in today's episode post-National, talk about everything that show was, what we liked, maybe some plays that we didn't get to make. We'll get into that. We're going to talk baseball. We're going to talk soccer. We're going to talk play of the week. We've got a big segment there. We've got an interview coming up with Mascot on this episode. We'll get into that here in a second. And then we've got latest launch to wrap it up. So a lot to get into. But first, the usual, every week with 3 folks. What's on your mind? Ty, you look locked in. Lou looks locked in. This will be a good one. I have a feeling this is going to be a really good episode. We had a little bit of chatter before we started, so I'm feeling this episode. But we'll start with you today, Ty. What's on your mind?
Gratitude from the National. The National was a lot of fun. It was
a lot of fun.
It was a grind. We got in Tuesday afternoon. We left Sunday afternoon. We were set up pretty much the entire time. I actually feel like I didn't really get it didn't hit me till like Sunday at 11 a.m. like any sort of tiredness. I feel like we were cruising and bruising the whole time. It was a really successful show. Saw a ton of people. That's really just so much gratitude for people that met for the first time that are listeners of the podcast. Those that have been listening for a long time, kids and parents alike, the whole nine. So that was always good. It kind of, it's food for the soul in that perspective. And then got a lot of deals done. Soccer market was alive and well and healthy. Pokemon, I made some sales I wish I could take back, honestly, but also picked some things up. Got in the mix with some Lorcana, which I'm very excited about. Some PSA 10s, PSA 9 Maleficent. And then, just kind of August 1st, kind of wrapping up the summer here and final month, and got submitted some things for grading, picked up these longer card holders for my tickets, which I'm excited about, and just generally pumped for all that's ahead. It was a big week for VFriends, introducing the new trading card game for Compete and Collect. I think the booth we had there was just a really successful endeavor, introducing a lot of people to what we're up to and what we're building there. And I leave with a lot of optimism and excitement for the hobby and what is to come ahead. It was great. I miss it, and I can't wait for the next one. And there's like an 8% chance I get in a plane and go to London to see all my London card show footy peeps. 8%? We'll see about that. Yeah, 8%. It's gone down a little bit. Quick jaunt to London. This might be tough. But otherwise, those are the things that's on my mind. Premier League Summer Series wrapped up. The summer of European football in America, I think, was incredibly
Everyone
successful.
was talking about it, right?
And that's what I got. That's what's on my mind.
Ty, care to share how you did early on against Lou on the VFriends game?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was a big dub right before we took off.
Please cut in the video, Jay, if you want.
What happened? I think I won the first one.
I beat you twice in a row.
No shot. Did you?
I did.
Our Lou was pretty good early
I
on.
only lost once to Jeremy.
Jay has confirmed.
Actually, no, I lost twice to Jeremy. He beat me the first time, and then I came back, and then he beat me again after I beat everybody else. We can pull up the tape. Run the tape.
All right.
I'm just saying we should bring that wherever we go from now on, because I just want to start playing that game.
I agree. I got my deck set up here. Okay, Lou won, I guess. I don't really recall it that much. Now, Court's coming in from the side saying she beat me as well. It's like shots left, right, and center.
The team. It's all about us having fun together.
Understood. Let's keep it moving. That's what's on my mind. The game is insane. I got a chance. Okay. We had our inaugural big Compete and Collect tournament on Saturday.
I saw you on the mic.
I hopped on the mic
and
I channeled my dude from the pre F1 race on the grid. Yeah, I went full Martin Bundle.
Martin Brundle.
Yeah, just full just, hey, can I grab you for 10 seconds? It was
Love
great.
that. I
Yeah.
love that.
The best one was
kinda-
Martin Brundle a couple weeks ago. Where were they? It was a couple weeks ago. Was it Silverstone?
And
Oh,
he
he
got
like
someone
runs
wrong?
up on somebody and they have no idea who he is.
He asked this girl, and the manager's like, no, you can't, no, she doesn't want to answer. And he's like, screw you. Can we get a couple moments? And she's like,
He's unreal. He has
he's
no
like-
fear whatsoever.
he goes-
it's amazing.
I'm sure it would have been electric anyways. And walks right on fire.
So
awesome.
yeah,
He
I
is
brought a lot of
classic.
inspo from him into my performance, and I enjoyed it very much. Now over to y'all.
Hello.
Two things in sports life. Number one, the end of the national to me is like the demarcation spot for football season. Like when the national ends, I start thinking about football. The Jets play in 2 days.
58 hours.
Something like that. Yeah, 58 hours. Hall of Fame game. I am so ready. There's been the Jets are becoming the enemies of the NFL, and that makes me really happy. I thrive when I am the enemy. So
love being the enemy.
I love being the enemy. And
Big
this
enemy
Sean Payton quote was unreal. Rodgers going back and him defending the team was unbelievable. So I'm excited about that, and I'm like locked in for football season. Sounds like Dalvin Cook is not going to be on the Jets after all this. So whatever, we'll see how that goes. And
I don't mind it.
I don't either. There was a sneaky little quote from Rodgers about how he took a big pay cut because at the trade deadline, a lot of pieces move. So he wants us to be available to make a move. And then there was also some little rumblings about Devontae Adams a couple days ago. So I'm just going to connect those two dots and just assume that Devontae Adams is coming to the Jets. So I feel great. So that's that. And then the other thing is that today is MLB trade deadline day. By the time you're hearing this tomorrow, this will be irrelevant, but I'm basically hoping that the Astros can get Verlander back, and I would appreciate some kind of bat. So I'll be locked into Twitter today.
Is Ohtani going to get moved?
No. They were buyers, so they're going to try to play out this year. I don't know why, but they are.
So just so I'm on the same page, Ohtani can walk away for nothing at the end of the year.
And guess what's going to happen, Ryan?
He's going to walk away for nothing.
I guess I don't know. I don't know why he would stay there. So, yeah.
I would love to understand. Again, that's not a world I will ever be in, but I've just love to understand from that perspective what's going through your mind.
They think they're getting him back.
I mean, wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, what else? What are you going to do? It's also hard, right? Like, what is the proper valuation for Shohei Ohtani on a 2-month rental? Like, what are they going to get back that's fair to them?
Something's better than nothing.
You could say that, but it's really hard to properly value it. And then the other example of when this has happened was Soto last year, and it looks like he's not staying in San Diego, and they gave up a ton for him. So I would imagine that teams have some buyer's remorse not buyer's remorse, but are just, more cautious in that situation.
Yeah, I guess that's the question is, I asked some of my Reds friends this locally. I said, would you trade Ellie De La Cruz for Ohtani? Some
not
said
without
yes.
a contract extension. I would.
Yeah, some said yes, some said no.
That makes no sense unless you have an extension. If you have an extension for Ohtani, obviously, but if not,
yeah, sure. It would cost you way more than Ellie De La Cruz.
Ohtani's not staying in Cincinnati, Ohio. Respectfully,
I mean, you ever been to Cincinnati?
Nope. Actually, yeah, once.
Yeah. So what's on my mind? Lou, you actually just brought it up, and I hadn't thought about it before, but I'm like, as soon as you said it, I'm like, this makes a ton of sense. You had both talked about it. Ty's like, it's August 1st. The National is the end of summer.
Yeah.
Summer ends when the National is over, and I'm like, man, that sucks. I'm disappointed. It's time for fall.
I'm gonna grind out one more month. I'm gonna take the month where I can get it, little beach time, little this, little that. But I'm with you.
Yeah, well, we don't have those here,
Yeah,
so that's not an option. It's fall time. Ty, you're muted.
Yeah, that was my bad. There was an ambulance going by.
Oh, but I look at it as like summer's over. We're getting the last couple of months of being a little warm. Then it's gonna get a little chilly, and then we're getting into the fall. We're getting into football. There'll be college football played this month. The NFL will be played this month. Like football's about to be back. Then we're not far from basketball. Second half of the year is gonna be cold, but hey, we got sports back. So excited to just get into that. The National though, certainly is what's on my mind. Yeah, what a lot of fun. It went by in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
This is certainly the one we were the least prepared for in quite some time, by a mile. Obviously, with having a child, not understanding when, where, who, how long, just kind of made things super complicated. So it was a little bit more like, let's just go and see what happens. We had ideas for content, like we were certainly prepared content wise, but I think the
You had
more and
fun,
more,
though.
what'd you say?
You had a good time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You
I'm
got a
not
lot
saying I
done.
can't have a blast. I got a lot done. I look back on it and I'm like, one, I wish I would have been set up. That is a good opportunity. It's the best opportunity for like engagement, like brand building, stuff like that is being set up and having a place for people to come say, what's up? Hey, pass out merch, do those type of things. That's a good thing to do. We didn't do that. We didn't get to do that. I'm hoping that's something we can do in Cleveland next year. I I was going through some of my thoughts earlier. The AC was miserable a couple days for sure. Wi-Fi worked better. The
Not the car
last day,
talk booth wasn't.
yeah, car talk booth somehow got
Crazy.
chilly, wild. I felt like there was like some deals, but like I felt like the pricing was more a little bit more obscure than I had seen it in years past. I don't know if that was just like the booths I visited and I didn't get to some of the best deals. But I saw pricing and I thought pricing was a little steep at a few places. I was a little surprised by that. The national exclusive packs were great. I know we had a conversation about that beforehand. Someone actually came up to me and said, "Yeah, I agree with you. The national exclusive packs suck." And I said, "Hey, that's not me. These have been good."
Yeah.
That's Lucian who. So I actually got to talk to somebody about that. Picked up some really cool PC stuff. Obviously, again, just because of like walking around and engaging with people and talking and having conversation, didn't really get to buy quite as much as we would have liked. I think we buy a little bit more being set up when stuff walks to the table. We had set up a little bit at booths and stuff like that, and that had made it easier. But I did pick up some really cool PC pieces at the show. Two things that really, really stood out. A Michael Red Logo Man, 1 of 3, was really cool. I've
That's cool.
been on a podcast with him. Really cool guy. Like very, very cool. Actually got to go to his house once and tour like his memorabilia stuff from like his Olympic days, his playing days, like has some really, really cool stuff. Awesome guy. So that was a really exciting PC as I don't have a Logo Man in there. So first one's got to be Michael Red, Buckeye legend. And then I don't know if all 3 of us, I know Ty was there. Garrett Wilson, Prism Gold, walked up to me. A Jets fan was like, "Hey Ryan, like I want to show you, are you buying? You want to see some cards?" I'm like, "Sure." He's got like a original V Friend Series 1, PSA 10 101 on there, the astronaut. I don't know the name. He has a piece
Adventurous.
This is like our kind of guy. What?
Yeah.
He was definitely our guy.
Has a Rogers
crazy.
Jets jersey on. So
Where'd you get that?
He had the 101, and then he had 2 Garrett Wilson Prism PSA 8 golds. Two of them.
Jets prisms?
True golds.
Damn, I definitely would have bought one of those.
And I was like, "You want to sell one?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll sell one of them." I'm like, "Cool, let's do it." Bought one of those. So have the true
I watched
gold.
that whole deal go down. It was great.
Have the Prism Black Finite 101 auto. So
Rainbow season, Rye. Rainbow season.
Now one's autoed, one's not autoed.
Oh, you're right. Damn it.
So as much as it pains me to say it, if Garrett Wilson is as good as I expect him to be, and the Jets are good, there's some upside for me on this because I'm invested in Garrett Wilson. But so that was really cool. So I don't want to ramble too much. I know we have a lot to get into, but yeah, the National was a lot of fun. 360 days by the time this goes live, 359 days until Cleveland 2024. So
real quick on Cleveland 2024, I was just looking at the location.
Mm-hmm.
It appears that there's like 0 hotels in like the immediate vicinity.
Yeah, it's not a Chicago with 5 attached hotels or 4 attached hotels where you just walk, across the tunnel. This is definitely Ubers and driving. There is nothing near the IX Center. Everything is a drive.
That's a shame. So if anyone here is listening and knows the hot hotels, holler at your boy because I'm going to lock in early. Like this year, because that helped immensely.
Yeah. I think we should do a month checkup, Jay. I think we should set a calendar invite. I think we should book our hotels in 1 month.
I booked my hotel for this past year, last year at the show. Like, I think we should book it like now.
Yeah, I agree.
If you're watching this right now and you know the best hotel, drop a comment so that we can all stay together at a hotel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Or we could just do a big card collection to Airbnb.
Ooh,
That'd be fun.
not opposed to that. Blue, that glass looks nice.
It's from Target.
Shout out to everybody that's not not watching. Lou just has a standard, prototypical Target glass, and Ty just really feeling the vibe.
It's a nice wide mouth, as they say.
It is, and like a thin, like light glass.
Mm-hmm.
We were gonna do a little brief segment, Bri, that we talked about before.
Okay.
But I'm trying to remember what it was specifically. The pivot from my 2 plays, 1 bad play. You were saying.
Oh yeah, your 2 favorite plays you made at the National, and then 1 play you didn't get to make that you wish you would have.
But then you said we should do something different.
That's what I said. You said, what's the worst play you make? I said, what's a play you didn't make that you wish you could have made?
Got it.
So it's not a negative. It's more like, what's one thing you wish you would have done that you didn't get to do?
Got you.
Positive card collector too.
For me, walk around and buy first edition Pokemon.
That's what you wish you would have done?
Yeah. I wish I would have spent more time supremely hunting for PSA 10 first edition Pokemon. I want the cat, like when I say that, it's not Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur. It's like
you're talking Chansey.
I'm talking Doug Trio. I'm talking Starmie. I'm talking
Starmie was low-key goated in the Game Boy games. Starmie was very open.
Misty would hit him out. And then it would like fly up and shoot out.
If you got it leveled up big, like it was strong.
Yeah, I just think when you look at the pop report for first edition Pokemon, PSA 10 and even PSA 9, like it's pretty scary. The lack of supply that exists.
It's kind of crazy how it hasn't even gone up that much in the last 2 or 3 years.
There's
Charizard has a little bit, but the rest of them really haven't.
There's 83 first edition PSA 10 Mewtwo's.
Mm-hmm.
You want the entire set PSA 10?
Yeah, I mean, that'll take me the next decades. 10, 20 years to put together. But like,
do you know what the Charizard runs?
The Charizard, I think, runs 220 as in a 10.
Oh, you want the Shadowless one?
First edition, bro. Yeah.
Oh,
come on.
The whole thing.
Jeez, always.
Something weird's got to happen in my life. The Powerball goes off tonight. Like,
be careful. Be careful.
Be careful.
But that's why I'm saying I'm more like build the base, like Squirtle.
The last Charizard did 250.
So that's the last thing. I'll start there. I'll start with like PSA 4, PSA 5. Build that up.
Trade up challenge.
Yeah. A little Courtney action.
How I traded this Blastoise card for a PSA 10 Charizard.
What about you guys? What's the thing that you wish you had done?
Can I do 2?
Yeah, of course.
I wish I would have stayed. I mean, obviously, I wish I could stay the whole weekend, but I would have loved 24 more hours. I think Friday would have been
you for 24.
a great.
Yeah, you should have been at trade night. Trade night was awesome.
I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize to us. You didn't go. It's not. We're not sorry. We wanted
you're not
you
sorry.
there.
So then you don't want me there. So why would I want to go?
We wanted you there. You just like, I don't know why you're apologizing to us. Like you
because I
chose
let my guys down. I wanted to be there for you because I'd never been there before, but I couldn't be there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it at the show, like with the trade night when we happened. Like, this is the bar that Lou Janu requires for those that are not watching. It's very, very high, and Tyler's bar is slightly below that, right? So like, we've got to have it like an NFL. We've got to have it like an NFL stadium or an NHL stadium or an MLB stadium for Lou to show up.
No, that's not correct. You know, I had to come home.
Thousands and thousands of square feet. 6,000 plus collectors, Michael Rubin there, Gary there, everybody there, and not Lou. Like, it's not big enough.
A couple appetizers on the side for the boys to munch on while we're trading wouldn't kill anybody.
Yeah,
trade night was special. We pulled up as a crew. I was dead. I had nothing, but I just completed the Lorcana purchase. Great, grinded it out. Landed on Captain Hook and Corella, PSA 10s. I did it at like 4, or at like the deal happened at like 5:25, and it just gave me full on energy right up into trade night. Sat down. We were one of the first people sat up at tables and just watched everyone just pour in.
Oh, you got help. You got help inside.
Got
Guy,
some deals.
what'd you do? What'd you do to get helped in time? What'd you tell him?
Hit up Rye, and Rye literally, the security guard was like, what's going on here? And Rye like cordially like handled the whole situation, let us in nice, got a t-shirt.
Yeah, I think everyone could attest that Rye doesn't answer my phone calls, but he answers Ty's. But that's fine.
It actually wasn't even Ty's, it was Jay's.
This is true.
That actually hurts me a little bit, right?
That situation.
You didn't call. I promise I answer. I always
Okay,
answer.
it's fine. We're moving on. The other thing I regret is that I didn't get that Stitch Lorcana. I wish I would have taken it. I should have taken it. It was staring me in the face, but I couldn't do it. And
you were really thinking about it.
You were trying to get me to do it, and I just couldn't. I wanted to be.
You were responsible.
I was trying to be responsible,
That's
and
good.
I regret it immensely, though. So I wish I would have got it. And I'll now, if anyone has a Stitch Lorcana PSA 10, be in my DMs. You'll probably get me to overpay because now I regret it, and that's just where I am.
You get it?
I'm just calling it how it is. So yeah, those are my two things. But I had a wonderful time. I love that show, man. It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
It was so big this year too. Like corporate space was insane. Like I think the show could be better organized and have all of the corporate in one area and then have more dealers like in another. Like I felt like it was like
we also got
dealers here. Like the dealers were kind of all over. There was some corporate here, like Whatnot and Beckett were here, and then like you had like Panini and V Friends and David Adams and Blowout and Tops and Fanatics. You had them there. Like it was just kind of all spread out. Like I probably wish they would have been like just personally, I wish they would have been a little bit like more.
It would be cool segmented. if the corporate things were like anchors. Like there was like four corners where like it would be like here's the Panini booth, here's the Tops booth. Like that would be cool. And rather than it being the entire middle, which kind of takes up number one a lot of space and makes it extremely hot in the center of the show, it'd be cool if they were spread out a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing is Fanatics is coming into the game and definitely going to be a long.
Do you think they'll buy the National? I don't know if we're supposed to talk about that.
I have no clue.
I don't know either. I'm just making a suggestion.
They're either going to buy the National or start.
That would be crazy if Fanatics buys the National. Like,
why? I don't think it's that crazy.
I know it's not crazy that they could buy it, not at all. But if Fanatics owns it, I mean, they just own everything. I mean, they just own everything, like everything. They like literally
get ready, right?
Everything. There's nothing that they don't own.
I think that there's room for a not like I don't know.
I don't know.
My spidey sense is they start their own.
Interesting.
It's my spidey sense.
Interesting.
I could be wrong.
It's gonna be interesting to see, like, you know, Ruben came to trade night, got to ask him a question, got to chat with him for a sec. And
it was good to see him in the in it. That was good.
Making deals. It was like
loved it.
Visibly there making deals.
That's dope.
Yeah, even if you guys came to trade night before, and do you remember Ian? He had a mullet at the time, I think.
Like, I saw him in the video. I was so happy when I saw him in the video.
Like he's got the personality for it. Like he's just so funny. He went up to Mike and went up to Michael Rubin and was like talking with him and got him to. He said CJ Stroud was my favorite. Got him to FaceTime CJ Stroud. Like
that's sick.
Really,
it was really, really cool. Yeah, it was cool.
I mean, he is the intro to the video.
Yeah,
that is unbelievable.
That's him. That's Ian. Yeah,
I love Ian.
He's such a good kid.
Shout out stranger.cards. That is Ian's Instagram.
Yeah, cards with the Z.
Yep.
I think there's going to be a melt up with Pokemon, but that's just me.
A what?
A melt up.
Melt up. Is that like a term?
Like it's like a short squeeze. Like all of a sudden everyone realizes there's none of them, and then the price goes crazy.
One thing I wish I would have done, setup, for sure. Having some booth space. Again, this wasn't like we chose not to. We didn't push enough of it. Like we don't have a booth. Like we're not like we just got on the waiting list this year. So I don't have space. And I think there was concerns that like the national didn't want that to happen, like people to set up together. Like there was concerns there. So like some people
What?
didn't want. Yeah, that was like the rumor going around was like, hey, the national doesn't want people to set up together. So like if this was the rumor, this is like what we were told is like, hey, you can't set up together. It's only this person's booth. So if it's only this person's booth, it can't be somebody else with them.
So if I buy a table with my money, I'm not
Mhm.
allowed to have whoever I want behind my table.
Well, this is the rumor. I mean, Aaron from Slabstocks can probably attest to it. Something I think
Ooh.
something happened there.
Ooh, tough look for Aaron getting dragged in, but that's
No,
interesting.
I'm just
I know. I'm totally
yeah.
kidding.
I'm not trying to like. This is just what I was told. What
That's
I'm
a
not.
weird rule if that's what it is.
So I don't know the exact rule. I would love to check with the national on like how the actual rule works. But again, I told you guys earlier, like we didn't push it a whole lot because of like
You weren't sure if
kids.
you're going to be there at all.
Exactly. So we didn't push it a whole lot. So I think looking back on it, knowing we had help, I wish I would have kind of played it a little bit more. Just hoping to like work with the national in the future and be able to set up on our own. I think that would be something that we'd like. I think that's kind of the end goal for us is to be able to set up regularly.
Wait,
So,
I'm a little confused. Don't you set up every year?
no, we set up 2 years and we were offered table space with 2 people each year.
Oh.
Hmm?
Got it. The last 2 years when you were setting up,
Yeah, last year was with Slabstocks, and then the year before was with somebody local in Chicago.
Understood.
Yep.
And then
And then
the
the-
rumor is
Set up
that
with
they
your
don't want you
podcast.
doing that?
Yeah, so the rumor going around, like when we asked a couple different people, was, "Hey, the national is strict on if you have a booth, it's your booth, not somebody else's. They need to follow the correct protocol and get space through the lottery."
Is
set
that
up way.
maybe a response to like because you always hear about people buying out tables? Like maybe that's a response to that.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, shout out to the national first and foremost for letting me
Yes,
go into
wonderful show.
the vendors. I went to the vendors meeting originally on Tuesday night when they were voting we heard presentations from Atlanta, Atlantic City, talked about Chicago. So I learned a lot from that because I think originally like there was the rumor, I talked about it on social, like there was the rumor that like Atlantic City put it on their website that the National is going to be in Atlantic City in 2026 and it like blew up. It blew up. Like Atlantic City accidentally posted it on their website, wasn't supposed to happen. So after that, I actually talked to the national and they're like, hey, this is what happens. Come to the meeting. So I learned a lot about the process. So I think part of this is a bigger conversation that there's a lot of misinformation and a lot of like people just don't know the real facts about what actually happens. I am certainly guilty of that. I went through it last week when I was like, or 2 weeks ago when I thought, when that happened, not understanding the process, how the vote works. So I learned a lot about it too. So I think a lot of it's like misinformation. People don't want to risk it. And that's what we left it at is I understand if I had a booth and there was a potential that I wouldn't be able to set up by letting somebody else in my booth space, I would never ever risk that too. We kind of left it at that. We didn't reach out to the national specifically. We certainly didn't make any extra effort on that. But I would love to just understand how that process works in the future. If that's something they intend to tighten up, if that's something they intend to loosen up, I think it would be great at some point to have somebody from the new national team on here because a new team will take it over in Cleveland. I know multiple of those people. There's 3 people on that board. One of them is the gentleman that runs the Philly show and the CSA show in Chantilly in Virginia. Amazing, amazing people. So
one of them's a Jersey cat. One of them's from Jersey.
It might be the guy who runs the Philly show. That would make sense. I think the Philly show guy's a Jersey guy.
well, Jim, one of them is the gentleman that runs the Hofstra show.
That's a Jersey
East
guy.
Coast National. That's what they call that.
East Coast National. Yeah, that's one of them, and then one of them runs the Philly and Chantilly show, and I forget what the other gentleman runs. They have many years of show experience. They're very, very open. Like it was very transparent. I learned a lot about it. Like, and shout out to them. Like I really, really learned a lot about it. So it was really, really nice. I think at some point we should have them on, and I think they could answer some of these questions because I know it's not something that's like trying to be secretive and like trying to sweep anything under the rug. It was very, very like open. Like, hey, this is how it happens. This is misinformation, and they talked about that a lot. So, yeah, I'm gonna just kind of leave it at that. Like, we didn't do enough to try to set up. It's on us, and I think looking back on it, I wish I would have tried to maybe reach out to the National more and understood, was there a potential opportunity for us to set up? Is there in the future? And, go from there.
Well, I know that the floor space at next year's National is far less than this year.
We got smoked
Really?
right time.
Yeah. I mean, like far less tables at next year's National. And it was definitely, I mean, we were one person away. I was there with Ripsy on, I guess, Saturday morning. We were priority 4. And we got one of the absolute last, like two spots together. Spot 137 was available as a single, not in a great spot at all. We almost took it just like to have table 137, but then we would have had V-Friends corporate and 2 separate tables, and we didn't want to do that. So we got 2 together, but we're up against the wall. But there's definitely, I mean, there's a lot of people that will have had tables at this year that do not have them next year based on the lack of supply. Yeah.
I also want to say, right, just on like the National thing, I feel like you're 100% right. I don't think it's a secret. I think that show has just been run pretty much the exact same way by the exact same people for 20 plus years, that it's just like, that's just how it is, So it'll be interesting to hear from some new folks.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it would help a lot of people because, again, like, I remember posting about the Atlantic City thing and it blew up and so many people had like, oh, this is this, like just so many different takes on it. And it's just, you guys know what it's like on social media. When one thing gets said, it spreads like wildfire. So it's just so much easier to, have somebody actually talk about it. So, all right, let's cut in real quick. We've got to cut into a little interview that Jay did with a friend Ezra over at Mascot. So we're going to go into that right now.
All right, so I'm here with Ezra Levine, CEO of Mascot, that's aiming to revolutionize the way that you handle your inventory. But I'm going to let Ezra get a chance to give his kind of elevator pitch on why Mascot makes sense for collectors, and then we'll kind of take a tour through the website and we'll talk about all the different features.
Awesome, Jay. Yeah, thanks for having me on. Sure. We're back from the Nationals. A really exciting week, as I'm sure it was for everybody. The feedback we kept hearing about Mascot is there really is no other solution quite like this. Mascot really is the fastest and easiest way to manage all of your inventory, and by far the fastest way to get items listed on secondary sales channels such as eBay and MySlabs and Amazon and Shopify if you have your own store. So really what we've done is we've created a connective tissue software for the industry that partners up with all the grading companies. Essentially any data that you have, or any data that the grading companies have, I should say, will pull in directly to Mascot when you go to upload items. Right now it works for sports cards, non-sports cards, TCG. It works for comic books, whether graded or raw. Raw also works too. I want to make sure people get that as well. And then you can sync your secondary market sales channels directly onto Mascot. Right now we work with eBay. Again, I said it before, I'll say it again, eBay, MySlabs, Amazon, Shopify, which gets you all the social media integrations. We had a lot of great conversations with a lot of marketplaces, some of which I didn't even know were coming online, but are coming online. Those will also be integrated as well. So by coming onto Mascot, it's completely free. You'll have a beautifully displayed catalog of all of your inventory with all the data from the grading companies. You can sync hundreds, if not thousands of items in minutes. We were on the Gary Vee podcast. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. We took 329 of his items. He had all the images, all the descriptions of all the assets fully synced into Mascot. Took, I think, 47 seconds on bad Wi-Fi, by the way, on bad Wi-Fi. So, and then from there, if you want to sell, you literally create one listing on Mascot and you could broadcast, you could blast it out to as many secondary market channels as you want. If the items sell on one marketplace, we've solved for a big pain point, which is double sales. So we've eliminated double sales altogether. If it sells on one marketplace, Mascot's technology will automatically remove the listing from all other marketplaces. So we feel great about how it was. We feel really great about the reception at National, and we're excited to continue to get the word out.
Yeah, I feel like that's huge, Ezra, because we've all been there as buyers and sellers, where you list something and you could have 200 cards up on eBay at one time, and and then it sells somewhere, or you sell the card at a show, or whatever the case may be, and that card's no longer in your inventory, but then it sells and you're like, now I got to cancel this, and hopefully we don't get negative feedback and stuff. So yeah, that's huge, and that really excites me as a collector. So what I'm going to do is we're actually on Mascot, on your site right now. It looks fantastic, and I clicked on the features link, and if you want to give a quick just bit of color on, I mean, I know you already did, but on this listing optimization and all the different features that I'm seeing here, the data analytics and inventory management. If you want to get into any more detail, I guess now's the time.
Yeah, awesome. So on the optimization part, I think a lot of people don't quite realize that there is, really best practices to creating secondary market listings, whether it's, how many items, how many characters used in item titles, whether it's how often to post, whether it's, kind of the frequency of posting, et cetera. Even if it's just creating, really good descriptions, really, high quality images. So Mascot is a technology that's really considered a lot of this. And we have more features that are going to be rolled out. But yeah, by coming into Mascot and essentially uploading your inventory, our technology does the best that it can with it to make sure that you have high quality images, that you have the right amount of characters, you have a description of your asset, just so you can continuously rank high in eBay rankings and in other sales channel rankings. When it comes to inventory management, I think when you go on the site, it's completely free to sign up. You'll see what we mean by this. Simply by listing in one detail of your cards, your comics, whatever it may be, you'll get as much data as really there exists on your items. It comes in automatically. You can do thousands of items. It'll come in seconds. Then you could, filter, you could search, you can drag and drop. There's a whole kind of suite of tools that allow you to handle your inventory. You can enter in your costs, which really means that when you sell something, you'll get your P&L, you'll know how much you're making, how much you're losing. You'll know how many items you have listed. You'll know what marketplace you're listing on. It'll give you all the data to really just broaden, your understanding of your activities. Really, same with data and analytics, exactly as I just discussed. It'll tell you, all of your KPIs. It'll tell you, kind of how many items you have listed, what the cost of your inventory is, where you're selling items. So, it's a really great tool to just give you perspective on the activities that you may already know you're doing, but when you see it, really all in one place, you might be surprised. And for the accounting too, same thing. It gives you all the data essentially, just in terms of how much you're making, how much you're losing. Hopefully you're making. I trust everyone's making money, and then just it'll give you essentially anything you need to print out to your accountant at year end, so that you don't have to go back and trace all of your emails and figure everything out. If you do it through Mascot, essentially you could export one report end of the year, send it to your accountant, and I think he or she will be very happy.
That's amazing. That's like Card QuickBooks. We get questions all the time on Card Talk with how people are keeping track of what they bought it for, what they sold it for. They have these wild Excel spreadsheets. They're all over the place and everything, and it's a pain in the butt to keep up with. So this actually, again, this fires me up. So the one last thing I want to do before we, before I let you go, Ezra, is, this is our recap show from the National. So I do want to get your quick 30, 45 seconds on, your thoughts on the current state of the hobby and what you saw out of the National out there in Chicago.
I said on Gary's podcast last week, and I'll say it again, I think there's really two different markets, right? One is the kind of pricing market. The other is the activity market. Yes, prices have come down, obviously, from COVID highs, but if you go to a show like the National, it's really hard not to be excited about the future of this industry. It's not, it's hard not to be bullish on it. Just the amount of people, the amount of volume, the demographics. It's getting younger. It's getting more diverse every single year we go. They're taking up more and more space every year. It seems like there's real excitement for this industry. I think there's real excitement for what Fanatics can do, for the industry. More celebrities, more athletes on hand. It just feels like the industry is really getting into a good place. It feels like it's in a healthy spot. And I've always been encouraged. One thing I always look for is when prices come down, does activity wane? Do people lose interest? And, if you go to a show like the National, just, the past week, it's hard to, think that activity is waning. If anything, it feels like activity is at an all-time high. So, it's always good to be there. Always good to, to see the community, see your friends. For us, it was really exciting to get Mascot out there. And to hear the feedback live. I mean, the biggest thing, I think I said it before, but I'll say it again. I think the two biggest things is people were shocked at how easy it is to use, especially in getting your inventory in. And people were shocked at how much time it's saving them and how much time it will save them when it goes to creating secondary market listings. I think people, by and large feel that creating listings on the secondary market channels takes a lot of time and there's a lot of friction and people kind of lose interest after a while because it just takes so much time to create these listings. By literally, checking off two buttons at Mascot, you could have hundreds of listings pushed live across not just one secondary market channel, multiple secondary market channels. And again, Jay, to your point, it also eliminates any risk of double sales. So really you're maximizing eyeballs and, and clearing up any friction that there is for secondary market selling. So it's really, really exciting, and excited to, have come off the national and, just keep building on that traction.
Amazing. And we'll put all the links and everything to your website and social media in the description on YouTube. But, for the people who are listening on the audio, can you just let them know where they can find you guys?
Yep. So our website is with Mascot, WITH Mascot, MASCOT.com. And then on all social medias at with the Mascot.
Amazing. Appreciate your time, Ezra.
Thanks, Jay.
All right. Shout out to Jay for the interview with Ezra over at Mascot. Now, right into another segment. We've got a play of the week this week, and it sounds like it could be a big one. So let's get into play of the week, see what we got this time. All right. This will be a good one. This looks like a national play, maybe. This is from Nathan's Sports Cards. It says, as I was eating my lunch and sitting at one of the stages on Saturday, I saw a free signing going on with AEW wrestler named Sky Blue. As I wrapped up eating my sandwich, packing food, saves a ton of money, by the way, I walked over to the short line to meet her and get this free 5x7 rookie card autograph. I got my autograph, took a picture, and moved along. Sunday night, I saw a Facebook group I'm in that someone posted about this free signing. His post had a ton of interaction. Seeing this, I looked on eBay to see if anyone had sold their free autograph they had gotten. I saw a few sales going on $150 to $200. I instantly took pics of mine, posted them on eBay for the cheapest available. An hour later, I had an offer of $100. I wanted to be greedy and counter, but since it was free, I took the offer. Buyer paid immediately. Not bad for a free autograph promotion and randomly running into it while eating lunch. Pictures are attached. OH. There we go, baby.
Yeah, the one thing I didn't bring up, by the way, was that Upper Deck had those tables where people could sit in the middle of the show. Thought that was such a good idea just to give some people a place to sit during the day. Great job by Upper Deck.
I will say Upper Deck's booth over by corporate was actually really nice. It was right by the wall. Had a little blocked off section, but had a ton of different spots to sit and stuff. It was kind of nice.
That's cool. I like this play. It does say first ever card. That's really cool. I believe Sky Blue is getting a push towards the women's championship in AEW, or just had one. So that would explain all the interaction. Great job. Great to walk into something at the national.
All right, what's next?
Yeah, I like that play. I don't love the OH at the end, but
yeah, I could do without that part.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
All right,
we're talking.
This is from JNN Collectors.
Wait, does Jay have some? Jay, is there some kind of introduction you need to give us?
Yeah,
not on this.
Sure. You're
not on this
smirking. It's throwing me off.
On the next one and on the one after. You want me out until the next one? I'm fine.
I'm just wondering, are you hanging out or what are you doing?
No,
are you waiting for the bit?
Oh, Jay. Poor Jay.
Can I read this one?
Yeah, sure. I don't want to read this junk.
Yeah, it's from my friend JNN Collectors.
Yeah,
wow,
sure.
Absolutely smoking JNN, Ryan. Nice.
Hey, guys. Hope you're all doing well and recovering from the national. I actually almost fell asleep at work yesterday, by the way. I have an entry for Play of the Week. I was at one of my LCSs last week and came across a card in the $2 each or 6 for 10 bin. I'm assuming the owner was unfamiliar with the player. That's tough. It was a 2022 Bowman University Lava Refractor Nick Singleton auto to $199. I bought it along with 5 other cards, listed it immediately for $44.99 and accepted an offer that evening for $40. After shipping and fees, I cleared $30.33 for a profit of over $28 on the one card. I still have a press pass red ink Ray Maluga.
Old Bengals draft pick.
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, did he play at ND?
No, USC.
USC.
Yes, he was part of that nasty linebacker core.
That dude. I knew I recognized it from that purchase, but was happy to move to Singleton. Take care and have a great week. Well, he's going to be a monster this year. Absolute monster. And I love
You picked him to win the Heisman last year.
He was pretty damn good.
Yeah, okay.
I'll take the $30
Next play.
on a linebacker.
I do need to make an intro on the next one. I saw that it was muted. It gave me the notification.
I mean, he's one of the 3 best running backs in college going into this year.
I thought he was a linebacker.
No. What are you shaking your head about, bro?
That just cannot be true.
I got a fire alarm going.
All right, so mute yourself.
Well, he's
can it
supposed
not
to
be
give us
true?
an introduction.
Well, not with the fire alarm going off, he isn't. I thought this guy was a linebacker. I'm just dead wrong on that.
He was the offensive freshman of the year in the Big Ten last year.
Wow.
I'm taking Braylon Allen over him first and foremost. I'm taking Travion Henderson over him first and foremost. I mean, that's already two.
I don't know where those guys play, but you're wrong.
Travion Henderson plays at Ohio State, number running back in the country 2 years ago.
What about
Braylon
Blake
Allen?
Corum, boys? Come on.
Yeah, Blake Corum's the number one, and then it's Nick Singleton.
Braylon Allen plays at Wisconsin. Is definitely better than this dude. And I don't even like Wisconsin. He's clearly better than this guy.
He's number 4 on this list I'm looking at of best running backs for the 2023 season.
So he's not top 3. That's all that matters.
Well,
Neither of your boys are even sniffing.
Lou,
an
who's on the
area
top?
that
Who's on the top
you'd
4?
appreciate.
this is an ESPN list from April 25th. It's number 1, Blake Corum. Number 2, Quinshon Judkins from Ole Miss, who I don't know. This guy I know. Raheem Sanders from Arkansas is really good, and then Singleton.
Yeah, whoever you mention on your Buckeyes isn't sneaking into the top 10 on that list.
Stop.
He is not sneaking into the top 10. I can confirm.
That list is outdated. That's from April, brother. Nobody was doing anything football.
Oh,
in
you
April.
like the list until you've heard
We
that he was on
were
the
in
top
the
10.
weight room since April. Okay, it's a great point. Jay?
Okay, I just want to point out that if you make a live in-person national play on one of the hosts, you're definitely going to be on the show.
Oh man, I think this is probably on me. Yeah, Snorlax Pokey.
Oh God. Oh, this is hilarious. This is from Narca. It says, I think I made a play. I've been looking for a first edition Hollow Snorlax for a couple months. Friday at the National, I walked up to a booth and one in a PSA 9 graded staring at me with a sticker price of $650.
I talked with the dealer.
Talked with the dealer and we discussed comps, and they were around the mid 600 to low 700 range. So the sticker wasn't bad. He just wanted cash, so I wanted some kind of discount off the sticker and offered $550. We met in the middle at $595. The next day, I got a message attached, made me look up comps again. The next day, with 26 bids, it sold for $810 on eBay.
Ooh.
It's a message from Tyler with a picture of the Snorlax, and it said, "You stole that Snorlax from me, BTW." No way. I told you the card won't be in the case when I come back.
You're on mute again, bro.
I love that. I love it for Jay.
The way he's talking, I don't think he realizes that that he made the play on Ty and that Ty is the host on the pod. Like he sent it in.
has to
He
know.
1
I don't
million
think he
percent,
does.
bro. Jay, stop. I mean, I have like 4 gifts from the guy right here. Okay, yes. The reality is, I
Yes.
place my cards to sell. The comps were like $700. When I see a price on eBay, eBay takes 13%, sometimes 15% of that.
That
price.
is accurate. That is accurate.
So when people go to these shows and see that a card sold for $750 and then put an $850 sticker price on it and then complain that no one's buying cards at the show,
This
that's
is a
what
good
happens.
Talk
This
about
is-
it.
This is real.
So
So
Like
$700. You sell that card for $700. You're automatically down to $610. Ty took $15 less to cash out in one day.
Mm-hmm.
now, what I'll say is this man and I engaged in a serious negotiation because I was firm
You weren't that.
that I was not going less than 600. And we spent about 45 minutes on it. And he finally said, you know what? I'm not going to pay 600. Can I pay you $599? And I didn't want his 4 singles. So I gave him $595 and he walked away. And I still am salty about it because I should not have sold that Snorlax. And I probably will have to pay more money, but we'll always have this story. And sometimes I do some things for the content and the betterment of the Card Talk brand.
A plus job out of Ty.
Thank you for making that sacrifice.
Respect.
A lot of people wouldn't do the same.
But I will say this dude has a really cool, like
The
the
display
rotating, spinning display case that he's working on that I'm excited to put on my desk. And I hope he enjoys that Snorlax.
Bet. All right. The last play, Ryan will really appreciate this one because he sent over literally a novel. It was the longest play of the week submission I had ever seen in the history of my life. And the thought of like the anxiety attack that Ryan was going to have if I tried to like run that as like 3 different slides and reading it for 20 minutes, it wasn't going to happen. So I said to the guy, look, this is a great play, but you got to short it. So anyway, what I got him to do is I'm going to have him read it. He sent me a selfie video of his play, and we're going to play it out on the air.
Oh my God.
I'm pumped about this.
It's a Brady?
It's a Brady.
Is he playing this year? No, right?
No.
Hello, everybody. Army ATC 22. I'm spinning my play of the National. On Thursday night, early Friday morning, I came back from the casino and I got a message from Jay Mojo Sports telling me, come to Lowe's, trade night's still happening. This is like 2:30 in the morning. So ended up going back to my room, my hotel room real quick. My cards were actually put away in the safe because I was not going to be really moving cards the next day. I was just going into dealing with my appointment with Panini. And so I just grabbed some money and went to the hotel. When I was there, a couple deals were being made and everything. And a guy came up, had a few cards and wanted us to look at them. And he handed me 3 different cards, one of them being a 2016 Panini Eternal Tom Brady Diamond numbered 4 of 5. Quickly asked him,
is that what this is?
What he wanted for it and everything else. He said previous comps were years ago, and
years ago.
And I knew it had to be in big card. So I asked him again, like, how much do you want for the card? This is the reason why the National is the way it is. These type of cards don't show up. So he just said, I'll take $200 for it. I didn't negotiate, nothing, gave him $200, and he went on his merry way. So Jay looked at me. We didn't know what just happened. Seriously. I think he ended up buying something else from him. And so the next day, went to the following trade night at Lowe's with that card. After I got a lot of information on it and everything, contacted a few individuals, the captain and everything that know Brady's, and trying to figure out a value on it. I came up to the realization about $2,000. Honestly, I didn't want to just overvalue. I just wanted to, use it, make some money, and not try to just sit on something I don't know the value truthfully is. No one can really give me a price. So went to trade night the next night at Lowe's, and it's the infamous, everyone knows about it, got shut down by the cops. So early in the morning there, I think it was around midnight. We moved to the Hyatt Regency, and there were a couple people already set up for the trade night. And so I started walking around, had my case this time, of course, with the cards and some extra money. And a guy was set up and said that he was a Brady super collector. So I showed him the card, and he was extremely interested in it. He asked if he can do kind of a cash trade deal. So he did, and ended up coming out with $1,000 cash and a Tua 2020 Chronicles Prism Black Orange numbered out of 75 auto 1010. I then sold that card for $1,200 the next day at the show. So I took $200 and turned it into $2,200 in approximately 30 hours. That is my play of the National. Thank you, guys.
That's a play.
Yeah.
Late
It's
night
hard
trade
to
night.
so he ended up with, he paid $200, and then he ended up flipping it for $1,000 and the Tua, correct?
And the 2 is sold for $1,200.
And the Tua sold for $1,200. So he ended up making $2K on a $200. It's a good job.
10x.
1,200 for a Tua card is you shouldn't catch me.
Yeah, that
Couldn't be me.
No.
We need to have a convo about who are you not going near for the next 6 months, and I think Tua might be near the top of that list. It's a great job by Alex, though.
Yeah, get that off. Who bought the Tua? 1,200.
Yikes.
Hey, Burrow dipped 15% off the potential Achilles calf news while at the show.
He might
Base
be an
Prism
injury
went
guy.
from 250 to 200.
Yeah, that was a pretty, we talked about it briefly on Card Talk. I remember bringing it up, but it was like that sure,
Thank you, Jay.
that sure could have been a lot worse. That sure could have had real implications on the card market at the National. Joe Burrow is a big deal in the sports card world right now. So that was pretty crazy.
I don't know. That was a weird one because that's a precursor to something else, which is not great.
What's that?
Usually that injury is a precursor to popping your Achilles.
Achilles, I agree.
That's what everybody was saying at the show.
So he needs to sit down for a while and heal that up.
Go focused.
You know, one thing I learned from this play, and we didn't talk about it enough. I didn't go. Obviously, we ran one trade night, but the trade nights at the National are the most underrated part of the National.
I agree. Your trade net was crazy. I also think if you can go in there rested and mentally sharp, you got a leg up on the field because most people are in there just pure degen hours, pure late night at the casino, pure trying to make some things happen
Just
with like little mental stamina.
Just stumbling in.
Just trying to keep it
My guy
moving.
Ty fell asleep at work.
Bro, I
Don't tell
literally
Gary.
passed out at like 5:15 for 25 minutes last night. I was like, God, eh.
Yeah, it was rough scenes for me when I got home, and I was only there for 2 days.
All right, Jay, flip through them real quick. I think I
What
have
do we
my
got?
winner.
What do we got? You had the 5-minute story, is that it?
I got old quick this year. I realized I'm like officially too old to like be out at nighttime.
Are you guys gonna bury me on this Snorlax player?
No.
Thanks, I
No,
appreciate it.
to me, it's the Brady.
Yeah, it's gotta be the Brady.
It's gotta be.
I
the
do
Brady.
like this one though, but I think it's the Brady as well.
I like the Nick Singleton too.
And the
but
first
also-
ever video submission, which is
Yeah, we gotta respect the video submission. How dare he screenshot the fact that I sent that to him?
it's a good job by him.
That is definitely a good job out of him.
I'm upset about it.
It's good to see. I mean, first and foremost, it's good to see a national exclusive Sky Blue. It's good to see the national exclusives getting some love. Definitely love to see that.
Yeah.
Real quick, Lou. I just think it's worth noting. I love your opinions on baseball, and you're really the
Thank
baseball
you.
expert here. And we haven't
Thank
got a
you.
lot into that. I know we rambled earlier about the national, and gratefully so. But can you
Yeah.
just give us a little update on the baseball world, Mets, Yankees, where we stand there, like what's going on?
I know what you want me to do, but I feel like Jay's taken enough of a beating on the show that I'm gonna dial it back a few notches.
When did Jay take a beating?
I don't think we need to get into it. It's been a rough show for Jay. So, Jay should show his shirt for sure.
King of merch.
We definitely can't sell that.
Jay, can I ask one thing of you?
Yes.
Can we please at least remake 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 Charizard Canter and ACLTs?
I can easily do that. No problem at all.
Please.
Some have called me the Martin Brundle of Card Talk. I mean, I sat down with Barry Weaver. I got us a soundbite. Wasn't going to let him not respond to.
You're more like the Ahmad Rashad of
Martin
Card Talk.
Brundle doesn't do sit downs, bro. He does walk-bys.
You're more of the Ahmad Rashad. You get in with this. You get in with the people. You throw softball questions, and then you move on.
Little Summer Sanders.
All right, quick MLB update.
MLB, let's go.
Yankees dead last. Pitts, bottom of the basement of the AL East. You hate to see that.
Tough.
But Judge is back, so there's still some potential for life. It's going to be hard to climb out of the depths of that division because it's a hard division, but they could. The Mets, fire sale mode, doing the right thing. Completely, you can beat this, Jay, completely to bed this season. And these things happen, but they made the right decision and are making the trades to get out of it. They traded Scherzer for a great prospect. They're going to trade Verlander back to the Astros for a subpar prospect, but you'll take it. And then who else? The Astros are half a game back of the AL West against the Rangers. The Rangers are falling apart little by little, so they'll be out soon. And then in the NL, I don't know. Jay, you probably know the NL better than me. I feel like, is it still the Braves?
It's got to be the Braves, right? They're the first to 60 games.
Did
The Braves are
Ohtani
unbelievable.
pitch a complete game, scoreless one-hitter in the front end of a doubleheader, and then suit up for the backside and hit 2 bombs? Did that
Yes,
happen?
That sounds like something he would do. Yeah.
Sounds a little flashy.
I think it happened during the National.
I mean, guys take 3 weeks off if they throw a complete game one-hitter.
Bro, it's just insane to me that he is, again, I've fallen on the sword. Couldn't have been more wrong in that case. But, like, it's insane how good he is and how just like irrelevant the Angels are.
I will say there's not many times in my life, it definitely never happened on Card Talk, but tied for the second most wins in the NL right now is the Cincinnati Reds.
Yes.
That's wild.
The Reds are in the mix.
The Braves have 67 wins. They're in first by a mile. The Reds lead the NL Central. They're 59-49, and the Dodgers are 59-45.
Yeah, I don't know the NL as well. I know the Diamondbacks were doing really well, but they've kind of fallen off a little bit.
They're third in the NL West. They're 57-50. Giants have 58 wins. Brewers have 57 wins. Phillies and Marlins have 57 wins.
Yeah, I mean, I think after today, it'll be a little bit more clear. I want to know who the Mets are going to trade. There was like some rumblings they might trade Alonso. That would be outrageous. I don't think they're going to do that, Jay, right? Okay.
No, they're talking about Adam Ottavino, some of the bullpen guys.
That makes sense, but you're not getting that much.
They just traded Canna, but definitely Verlander's at the top of the list. And
I will say the Oakland Athletics are bad.
Oh, I mean, that was
wins.
I think on the show I said they're under 65 wins was like the easiest bet of all time.
And the Royals pretty bad.
I was just trying to think, because when I think about the Cincinnati Reds, I actually think about like kind of swaggy. And then I was like, wait, why do I think the Reds are swaggy? And I'm like, oh, it had Barry Larkin backyard baseball.
That would be it. That would be it.
I mean, the Barry Larkin, Sean Casey, Adam Dunn, Austin Kearns, Ken Griffey Jr.
Ty, it feels like the Backyard Sports Series is a fictional character series we should be pursuing. I might need to get involved there.
Fire that in there. Yeah, well, Pablo Sanchez and Petey Wheeler.
Sanchez, that was his name. That was
and Petey Wheeler was speed up the first baseline, pure speed.
Dude, backyard baseball. That was my game.
Yeah, backyard baseball is amazing. I remember freaking out about the rumors of like backyard hockey, backyard football with Hocus Pocus.
I was gonna say like crazy. The other game was like NFL Blitz.
Yeah, 2000
or NFL Street.
NFL
like
Street
Ricky Williams on the cover.
Sick. So NFL, I had the great luxury of.
Bro, the Pablo Sanchez rookies are expensive.
I could imagine.
Really?
I visited the personal collection of the founder of WADA while I was at the show.
The game company?
Correct. The great game grading company. And when I tell you, it was the single most unbelievable collection of anything I've ever seen. He had every video game known to man, raw. And then he also had all the in-store marketing promos, everything for the original Pokemon Blue Red releases. It was so sick. Cool borders.
Does PSA own WADA?
Snowboard Kids. I'm pretty sure they bought them in the last 2 years or so.
Maybe not PSA, more Collectors Universe.
Yeah.
Or was it PSA?
So that was cool. That was really cool. Yeah.
All right. Let's get into latest launch. I know we are late. I'm going to be late to something. I didn't set an alarm. That's tough. You hate to see that. Bad job out of me.
Hate to see that.
Bad job out of me. 7 minutes past a hard stop. Tough scene there.
Well, I mean, when you keep dragging it out right now, it's not getting any better.
We continue. 3 minutes late and 5 minutes late. I mean, all the same. Obsidian Soccer drops this week. Score Football starting to get into those 2023 releases. Would love to see the 2022 releases finish up here soon, though. NT Football is due very, very soon. NT FOTL drops today. So it'll be live.
Jay, it feels like maybe a case break for NT might be in our future, Jay.
NT FOTL starts at $82.50 and goes down via Dutch auction, so it might be a little expensive. I'm not sure we can expense that one, but would be nice.
Yeah, well, the boys could split a case break.
Yeah, expensive. How much? We'll see. Select UFC H2 Super Glow 7th edition 2023 Topps Baseball
7th
Factory
edition?
Yeah,
like rugby? Must be rugby 7s.
Anyway. Leaf Soccer Blaster Topps Complete Baseball Factory Sets Pokemon Back to School Pencil Box and Eraser Blister Pack.
Wow.
Pokemon.
That's gotta be gas.
That's electric.
Topps. I'm getting it. I'll send you a picture.
Please, dude.
I need one of those.
The pencil box. The kid would have been in 4th grade. Like, what's good?
I'll send you one.
With the blister pack, might have some heat.
Pokemon Summer Collector Chest Tin, Topps Chrome Bundesliga Soccer, True Creator Stellar Edition Jumbo.
Who would be in that Bundesliga? Any good rookies in there?
Young, but rookie wise, I'm not sure. Bellingham
see
just
who's
left
on
the
the-
league.
I'll see who's on
Gio
the
Reyna is going to be in there.
But he's been around.
Yeah, he's been around from a rookie perspective.
I feel like there's one or two. we're not talking
Musiala's on the list, and there's a
Yep.
guy.
Mukoku, but those guys again aren't.
Can't read it.
Bayern probably has some sneaky cats.
Oh, right here it says the future of Bundesliga with players like Jamie Bino Gittens,
Okay.
or Bayern Munich's youngest Bundesliga player ever, Paul Wainer. Wainer.
You know either of those?
It's probably Vanner, with the
Wagner.
German W. I don't know those guys. Can't lie. I did watch BVB Dortmund beat United in the friendly. Mukoku had some nice goals. United looked like a little bit of a mess.
There's some sneaky
Jude
stuff in
Bellingham
there.
is like a megastar, absolute megastar.
You were
Now
early
Real
on that one.
Madrid. Mbappe saga. We're gonna have to see what's going on.
Yeah, didn't he say he wasn't going to play there anymore?
So officially, Otani and Mbappe are going through the same thing. Final year
Otani's playing in
contract.
Saudi.
No, Mbappe didn't trigger his
That was
extension.
awesome.
So Mbappe
But I have
is
to go.
free to leave in 2024, and PSG doesn't want to do that, so they got him for sale, and that's that.
Heck of an episode post-national. We'll be back next week.
Love
Do it
y'all.
all
Thanks
over
for tuning in.